Okay, so get this. I was up late reading the short story, The Discovery, and whoa, it really got me thinking, like, what if everything we think is real is all just, a simulation?
It's amazing how science fiction can make those kind of big questions feel so, so real. And this story, it actually ties into some pretty intense debates happening in physics right now, especially when it comes to quantum mechanics.
Right, quantum mechanics, that's the stuff that usually makes my head spin.
Yeah.
But this story, it kind of clicked for me in a new way. So it starts with these scientists, and they're using AI to try and figure out how reality works at the tiniest level.
Yeah, they're really interested in this thing called wave function collapse. And what that really means is, get this, that particles can actually be in multiple states at the same time until someone observes them. You know how quantum computers are all the rage right now? This very principle, this superposition, it's actually what's driving real-world breakthroughs in stuff like medicine and materials.
Whoa, seriously. See, that's what I love about this stuff. It's like mind-bending theory, but then bam, it's changing the world in ways we're only starting to grasp. Okay, so we've got these scientists, super advanced AI, and a whole lot of quantum weirdness. What could possibly go wrong, right?
Well, that's where the discovery takes this really wild turn. These scientists, they find a pattern in their experiments, but it's not what anyone was expecting.
Okay, now you got to tell me, what did they find? What was this pattern that had you so hooked?
Okay, imagine, like, you're looking at this super intricate tapestry, right? And then you suddenly realize, whoa, it's actually being generated by this really simple algorithm, like something a computer program would use, like a random number generator. That's kind of what these scientists stumbled upon in their data.
Wait, so you're saying it's like someone just mashed a bunch of random keys and boom, the universe popped out. Okay, hold on. Even for me, that's a lot to take in. So does that mean, like, none of this is actually real? Are we living in a simulation?
It's a total mind bender, right? And the story, it takes this whole discovery and dives headfirst into this thing called the simulation hypothesis, which has actually been a philosophical concept for, like, centuries. Now, just to be clear, there's no, like, hard scientific proof that we're all living in some kind of matrix situation. But as a thought experiment, it really makes you confront some pretty huge questions.
Okay. Let's just say, for argument's sake, I can wrap my head around this whole being simulated thing. What does that even mean for us? Does it change how we live our lives, the choices we make, all that?
That's the heart of it, right? The story really digs into this whole free will versus determinism thing. Like, if our reality is basically just code, are we really making choices? Or are we just, following some predetermined path? It's kind of like those characters in a video game. I mean, their world might be artificial to us, but the choices they make, the relationships they form, those all have meaning within their reality.
It's funny you should say that. I never really think about what do they call them, the NPCs in my games, is having these whole internal lives, their own motivations and stuff, but I guess why not? This whole conversation is making me question everything. Okay, so we are in a simulation. Does that mean our choices don't even matter? That we're all just along for the ride?
Well, the story doesn't really give any easy answers, which is a good thing. It's by wrestling with these questions that we can learn more about ourselves, about the world around us. I remember Dr. Applebaum, the AI specialist from the story. So she's the one who makes the discovery about the simulation, but instead of just accepting it, she decides to take things into her own hands.
Yeah, she hacks the simulation, right? What does that even look like? Does she, like, start controlling people like puppets? Yeah, she hacks the simulation, right? What does that even look like? Does she, like, start controlling people like puppets?
It's actually way more intense than that. She focuses on a specific historical event, the Holocaust. Like, she literally rewrites the code of their simulated reality to prevent it from ever happening.
Whoa, talk about swinging for the fences, huh? I mean, it's a noble goal, but isn't that kind of like opening a Pandora's box? Who are we to rewrite history? Even if it's for a good reason,
Yeah, exactly. That's the really sticky ethical dilemma this story brings up. It makes us think about, like, the ripple effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we could erase suffering on that kind of scale, would it even be the right thing to do? Could we even change the past without causing a whole bunch of other unintended consequences? It's a debate that's happening in the real world, too, about how we view history, how we deal with even the darkest parts of it.
Yeah, no kidding. And the meta-ness of it all, right? There are simulated beings, and then she creates another simulation within their simulation by messing with history. It's like existential dread, but in those Russian nesting doll things.
And it gets even wilder. So the professors who made the simulation, they finally figure out that something's off with their data. But the crazy part, they're not freaked out. They're actually super intrigued. They even talk about patenting this AI. the one that can rewrite reality.
So not only are we questioning our own reality, but now we've got these higher level beings, and they're totally cool with being simulated themselves, and they're trying to profit from it. Man, it really makes you wonder about their motives, doesn't it? And what it all says about, like, the very idea of free will.
Right. It's like this huge reminder that the urge to understand, to control, to even create, maybe that's just part of what it means to be, well, human, or
That's right.
maybe just sentient in general. This story really pushes those
I'm
boundaries.
telling you, this whole story was like one giant thought experiment. The discovery definitely lived up to its name, let me tell you. If you want a story that'll turn your brain inside out, make you question everything you thought you knew about reality, this is the one. Trust me, it's worth a deep dive.